I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. This is part 2 of a 2-part video series about how we give consent to narcissists to abuse us. If you haven't seen part 1, this video probably won't make a lot of sense to you, so I recommend you watch the other video first. So I was talking about why I started to study the occult, and that was for 2 reasons. One, to see if the narcissists actually do have any power or authority over us, any sort of qualities that do put them in charge or make them powerful, and looking also for weaknesses and vulnerabilities. Well, I did discover through studying the occult that it is these weaknesses, these limitations that demons actually are bound by that ultimately give them that power. They must have consent from us before they can abuse us. Of course, in retrospect, I fully understood that me paying for the renovations in Trevor's house of pain did not in any way make me a part owner in the house. I mean, I fully understood that. But through mind control and future faking and gaslighting and projection, Kim, you don't want to be a freeloader. Well, no, of course I don't want to be a freeloader, but I certainly didn't want to spend $30,000, based on future faking on the renovations of someone else's house that, by the way, I was thrown out of at least 10 times during the renovations that went on pretty much the entire 5 years we were together. But in retrospect, when I look at that, when I consider the nuances and, the covert, sneaky, creepy way he got me to give consent, damn, I did. I gave consent. Diane's comment, she says that, the devil is likely not going to tell us how to get rid of them, but this is not true. You have to consider that they also have this sort of grandiose, no one can touch me, I'm above the law, kind of attitude. So they can be very careless. Now, one area that they're extremely careless in is projection and those crazy accusations that they make. Trevor was cheating on me and accusing me of cheating. Trevor was robbing me and accusing me of being the one doing the robbing. So ultimately, they are constantly confessing. When a narcissist says to you that you're cheating, what they're actually telling you is that they're cheating. When a narcissist accuses you of lying, they're telling you that they are lying. Every single word out of their mouths when it comes to an accusation against you or projection on you is always 100% a confession. So yes, this demon is in fact confessing. It is telling you everything you need to know to make a good choice. Okay, so back to this consent thing for a moment. Now, over the years, I've had the channel, and over the time frame I've been studying the occult, I've really come to understand this request for consent. I understand the nuances, how covert it is, how deceptive it is, and how they sugarcoat it, often making it appear like they're doing you a favor. And future faking will come into this in many ways, but it is so important that we're able to pick up on these nuances. Okay, another quick story. I've, of course, started my jewelry business again, and it is going quite well, but I do need to, increase the number of retailers I have selling my jewelry. So I'm at a meeting with a guy the other day, and the meeting's going really well, and all of a sudden he makes a suggestion. Now, a suggestion is part of our business partnership, the foundation, of the structure of the business relationship that him and I will have. Now, immediately, though he's telling me this is going to, really help me out, be in my best interest, I immediately recognize this guy is asking me for permission for me to willingly put myself in a vulnerable situation that could result disastrously for me. I immediately recognize this. I look up at him thinking, what the hell did he just say? And there it is, the narc smirk. I see it immediately. So I recognize this creature is asking me for consent because it wants to potentially financially abuse me, at the very least, put me in a vulnerable situation. So I don't want to leave it open-ended. The thing has asked me for consent, so I say to it very calmly and, non-aggressively, just chill as can be, no, I do not give consent. But I will be speaking to my lawyer in a couple of days, and I'll toss it out at him and see what he thinks. My God, this thing came unraveled. They are so egotistical. They are so confident that they're going to be able to manipulate you and, deceive you. This thing instantly became unraveled. It was twitchy and flippy and flipping through papers, and it was stuttering, and it was stammering. It was mind-blowing. Like, you could just see it was narc injured beyond belief, because it thought it was going to breeze in, cool as a cucumber, outsmart me, get me to give consent for something that could potentially cause me significant financial harm. And I shut it right down. I didn't leave it open-ended. I flat out said, no, I do not consent to that. When a demon is asking you for consent to harm you, they are not going to flat out present it like it could be harmful. They're going to sugarcoat it, candy coat it. As soon as I start hearing things like, oh, I've got your best interest in mind, this is going to be best for you, I don't mind leaving myself, kind of in a less protected position as long as you're taken care of. I mean, all that build-up stuff, I'm thinking, yeah, here we go. So by the time this idiot dropped this bomb, I was well aware that it was coming. And it is these nuances, these subtle, candy-coated suggestions, that lead us to giving consent. And it's these things we have to learn to identify them quick. Don't leave it open-ended. Say very simply, no, I do not consent. The demon can't move forward from there. And man, by this thing's behavior, it was shut down and it was in shock. It was this thing's reaction to me refusing to give consent that was all telling. I mean, it was literally struggling to keep its composure. Certainly see how our friend Diane could come to the conclusion that, looking at the occult could inject some sort of darkness into a person's life. But I do not look on at it with any type of morbid fascination. I look on only to gain information and insight so I can gather the information we all need to keep ourselves safe and protect ourselves from them. I feel very protected from evil. In fact, I have never even given a remote consideration to the possibility that for me studying the occult could somehow inject something ugly in my life, because my intention is very genuine. And I think if we stay, heart-centered, and we stay soul and spirit-centered, and we do things with the right motive, everything's going to work out great. Something that really separates us from narcissists, because narcissists never have a sincere desire or intention to do something good for someone else. They never have the right motive. It's always sinister and always deceptive. Studying the occult led me to understand that there are very, very real restrictions and limitations that demons face. One is the enslavement to the narc hamster wheel. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. My kids had hamsters and they used to just run. And that's what I see when I look at this repetitive looping behavior. And the fact that for all of them, it's been there since their earliest days and will be there till the day they die. It made me very aware of two things. One, their enslavement, and two, my freedom. And this gave me a tremendous sense of gratitude. I really do have free will. I can make choices for myself. There is nothing holding me back, nothing enslaving me, nothing that I am condemned to repeat over and over again. I'm a free woman. I also get a tremendous feeling of protection, understanding that narcissists have to have my consent to attack me. This is great because it does make me feel kind of bulletproof. Very simply, I do not consent to being abused. And I've learned to spot the nuances and the candy coating and the future faking and all that deception that they use when trying to gain our consent. And this has really given me an incredible sense of security as far as my ability to protect myself in the future. Diane, you are 100% correct. God is the answer. And I believe that God is always with me and always protecting me when I'm doing this research. I believe it is God's will that we come to understand these creatures so we can protect ourselves from them. Thank you so much for leaving that comment. Guys, I love you lots. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV. I hope you're having a great narc-free day.